Hi everybody, so today is going to be a review of the theBalm's Nude Beach Eyeshadow Palette. So if you've been subscribed to me for a while, or even recently, you might know that I'm a very big fan of theBalm. I have a lot of their products. I would say a good, at least half of their products that they have, I own them. So I'm a really big fan, and I had really high expectations for this palette because this is the volume 3 of their nude eyeshadow palette line. I do want to show you a comparison of the other palettes in the nude line, but first let's just get right into looking at this palette that is so beautiful. So on the front we have a little beach scene, and we have a little beach ball in the front. On the back it shows you the eyeshadows and their names and an ingredient list over here. So when you open up the palette, you do get a pretty big size mirror, which is standard in their palettes, so I like it a lot. And on the beginning of the mirror it says "Life's a Beach." I thought that was cute. So inside the palette you get a range of warm eyeshadow shades and these cute little drawings of girls and boys, I guess in bathing suits at the beach. So I wanted to give you a little bit of a close-up of these eyeshadow shades. I want to say that this is the first eyeshadow palette they've done that is mainly a warm tone palette. So those of you that like a cool tone palette, I'm going to tell you right now, this is probably not the palette for you. But I love this palette so much already. I mean, I used it today and I can't wait to show you the tutorial towards the end of the video. There are, as far as I can tell, about 5 matte shades, and the rest are shimmer, with this color right here, Brave, being a matte with a little bit of micro sparkles in it. I'm gonna go ahead and show you the swatches of the palette. So as you guys can probably tell in the swatches, that the right side of the palette, this side, seems to swatch better than this side of the palette. I do have to be honest in saying that some of the matte shadows are a little bit patchy in the swatches. Like this color Brazen, this dark matte brown, it's a little bit patchy in the swatch. But I used it today on my eyes and I had a really good experience with it. So, you know, one thing is a finger swatch and another thing is actually applying it to your eyes. This Bodacious color, on the other hand, is very, very pigmented and smooth, and it's a matte shade, so I really enjoyed it. I applied that on this area of my eye, and I think it looks really, really beautiful. I love that color. It's my favorite one of the whole palette. This color Build is absolutely gorgeous. It's a super, super pigmented yellow gold, which I applied on the inner corner of my eye. And this copper color called Breathtaking is breathtaking, I have to say. It's really, really beautifully swatched, and it's just really pretty. It's very, very metallic-y and very pigmented. So yeah, overall, I do really love this palette. Are all of the shades super, super pigmented? Not so much. I'd say that the shimmery shades of this palette are better than some of the matte shades, but I do really like this palette. I'd say like the worst shade, if I had to pick, of this whole palette would have to be Brave. That's that matte purple with little sparkles in it. This is the swatch for that shade right here, and as you can tell, it's pretty faint. It's not a very pigmented purple shade. Purple has to be one of the most difficult eyeshadow colors to get correct, so I have to say that that shade isn't not the best, but overall I am very happy with this palette. And it is my favorite out of all of the theBalm eyeshadow palettes that I own. So even though it's not perfect, I still really like it, and I was able to create this really beautiful look today. So I don't know, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below if you like this palette so far. I wanted to show you quickly side by side what these palettes look like compared to each other. So the one right here where my pinky is moving, that's the first Nude Tube palette that ever came out. As you can tell, the two palettes, this one and the one next to it in the middle, are more cool tone shadows. So these are really nice, you know, like for going out at night and stuff. I've created so many tutorials on these palettes already. The one in the middle is a little bit more pinky toned, so it has a lot of like shimmery kind of rose gold shades. And the new palette, the Nude Beach, is more fiery inspired. It's more warm toned. So it's definitely different. I don't have any eyeshadows. I really tried to look at and see if there were any dupes for each other. I think all of these eyeshadows are original on the Nude Beach palette. None of these are replications of the earlier Nude eyeshadow palette editions. In looking through my other eyeshadow palettes to find some other little eyeshadow dupes, I really couldn't find many. Most of these shades look pretty unique in a way. Not unique as in like there aren't any shadows that are very similar, but just not exactly the same. So this Modern Renaissance palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills has a really similar color. So this is called Real Gar, and that's on this finger. So you can see that it's kind of in the same range as Bodacious, which is on this finger I'm moving. Bodacious is a little bit more orangey, and Real Gar is a little bit more red. So you can see swatched on my hand that they do look very, very similar. They're almost the same. It's just the tone is a little bit different. One's a little bit more kind of browny, one's a little bit more orangey. I also went ahead and looked through the Meet Matte palettes to see if there were any shades that were similar, and I really couldn't find many. Other than this shade here called Brazen. This shade is pretty dupable. I've seen this color in a lot of different palettes, so it's not something that's super unique. It's kind of similar to this matte Williams color in the middle of the Meet Matte Adore palette. And it's also similar to Matte Reed from the Meet Matrimony palette. And it's also similar to Matte Wood in the middle of the Meet Matte Nude palette. So yeah, that color is pretty dupable. There's a lot of very similar colors in the Meet Matte Nudes. And also this color called Bold, that little medium brown color, is again really dupable. I don't need to even show you. I'm sure you have a color like that in your collection. So other than that, none of the other colors are really that similar to the Balm eyeshadows. So I'm pleasantly very surprised by this palette. I really love it, and I give it an A+ in my opinion. I think it's really good. I've had these other nude palettes for a really long time, and they've really been my staples, but I have to say that this really has blown everything out of the water. I think it's a really good palette for summer. So I think it's a really good addition to your makeup collection if you don't have a palette that's similar to this. Now, I'm not gonna purchase the Urban Decay, the new palette that just came out. I think it's called like Naked Heat or something like that. I don't really remember what it's called, but that new Urban Decay palette that just came out, it's very similar to Nude Beach. I think a lot of the shades will probably be really dupable, but I don't really feel I need that palette because I already have this one and a lot of the shades are really similar. So I don't know, I'm really happy with this palette. I think it's a little bit cheaper than the Urban Decay palette too. So, and a lot of times, if you Google thebalm.com coupons, there'll be a coupon code that'll be available. I used one that was 10% off for Ipsy, I think. So always search online before you go on their website to purchase something, because there's usually ends up being a coupon. So I really love this palette. I really like it. If you're interested in seeing a tutorial for this eyeshadow look using this palette, then go ahead and keep watching. So first I'm going to apply the Balm's Put a Lid on It eye primer. And I'm also going to apply Tarte's Lid Lock Eye Base because it gives a bit of color to the eye, and I like to use the eyelid primer to make sure that it's gonna lock this cream down without creasing. I'm gonna take the shade Brilliant, which is a matte nude color, and I'm going to apply that to the brow bone area. With a blending brush, I'm taking this color called Bodacious, and it is a warm red orange. I'm gonna start by dabbing this color on into the socket of the eye, and then I'm going to, in circle motions, blend this color out. You want it to have a gradation of darker towards the crease and then go out to a little hint of color towards the brow bone. Next, I'm going to take this color called Brainiac, which is a shimmering maroon, and I'm going to apply this color in a pressing motion, mainly on the center of the lid. Just pack this color on. And then just kind of go on the tip of the brush just to kind of blend it out into the crease. Next, I'm going to take Bootylicious, which is a dark bronzy color, and I'm going to apply that on the outer third of the eye, so pressing that in because it has a lot of sparkle, so it can create some fallout. So you just want to, with tapping motions, apply that to the outer third of the eye. With this dark matte brown color, I'm then taking Brazen, and I'm going to apply this into the crease of the eye and also on the outer third of the eye. I want to darken up the outer corner. I'm going to go back in with the blending brush with no color at first, and I'm just going to blend out the edges of the eye. After you blended everything out, you can add a touch more of Bodacious, just a little bit, just to add a little bit of that color back onto the contour of the eye. Next, I'm going to take this beautiful shimmering gold called Built, and I'm going to apply that into the inner corner of the eye and into the tear duct. Just slightly pat it on to the maroon color. Next, I'm taking this medium matte brown called Bold with a little detailer brush, and I'm going to apply that to the lower lash line. I'm also going to take a little bit of Bootylicious. I'm going to apply that to the outer third of the lower lash line. Thank you guys so much for watching my tutorial. I really hope you liked it. I feel like this palette really suits my warm complexion. It's really great for summer. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are in the comment section below if you're gonna pick up this palette or if you're gonna get something else that's similar, maybe the Urban Decay palette. If you like this video, please remember to thumbs it up and subscribe if you wanna see more content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.